You ever get that feeling like something's just not quite right with how we're all living? A kind of disconnect? Well, today we're going to dive into this amazing growing movement that's not just talking about that feeling, they're actually building the answer. An answer that, believe it or not, connects the soil, our souls, and even our screens.
And yeah, it all starts right there, with that feeling. It's this deep recognition that, our modern world has kind of lost its way. It's like we've put up these barriers between us and nature, and while we were doing that, we accidentally walled off parts of ourselves, too. This quote it nails that feeling of loss, doesn't it?
So this is the big question, the one that's driving this whole thing. What if we could actually weave a different reality? I mean, a reality that's regenerative instead of just taking all the time. One where we're connected, not broken apart. So let's take a look at how they're even starting to do that.
All right, so where do you even begin trying to weave a whole new reality? I mean, that's huge, right? Well, the movement we're looking at says you start at the foundation of literally everything, the land. And we're not talking about just some philosophical return to nature. No, this is about the real, hands-on, physical work of rebuilding our relationship with the very earth that keeps us all alive.
And right at the heart of this whole return to the land thing is this idea of the Ecovilla or Ecovillage. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a living laboratory for a better future. It's a community that's been designed from the ground up to integrate human life with the natural world instead of constantly fighting against it.
And this isn't just some nice idea on paper, okay? This is real. Just look at this shot from the Ecovila Sustentar down in Brazil. This land, it was degraded, was barren. And now, through something called agroforestry, it's just buzzing with life. It's an incredible visual reminder of what regeneration actually looks like when you do it.
So what's the secret sauce? How do they actually do it? Well, it's a whole toolkit of really practical, earth-friendly techniques. We're talking about using agroecology and permaculture for food, building with local stuff like bamboo and earth. They call that bioconstruction. And even bringing springs back to life by harvesting water. They're even creating new ways to think about money, like with biodiversity credits. The end game for all of this? To create systems that can pretty much take care of themselves.
And the impact, it's not small. It's real. Altogether, these affiliated projects have already regenerated over 600 hectares of land. That's a huge, tangible piece of our planet that's literally healing, one plot at a time. But here's the thing. Regenerating the land? That's just the first step.
Right. Regenerating the land, that's one thing, but it's really only half the battle. The next layer, and honestly maybe the hardest part of all, is the human element. Okay, you've healed the soil, but now how do you weave a bunch of people into a community that actually works? A community that's harmonious?
And this phrase just hits the nail on the head. You can build the most amazing, eco-friendly house, but the real challenge? That's building a home. That's weaving people together, turning a group of individuals into a real, supportive community.
So what's the problem? Why is it so hard?
Well, the people doing this work are brutally honest about it. You've got egos getting in the way. I've even heard them called ego villains sometimes. You see groups constantly splintering off. There's this underlying fear that there isn't enough to go around, a lack of solid agreements, and just the sheer difficulty of getting everyone to agree on anything. These are the classic roadblocks that so many of these communities run into.
So what's the solution then? How do you get past that? This quote from Jefferson Soma, who's a really central figure here, kind of points the way. He says, "I still believe in love, but a consensual love with clear rules." See, it's not about ditching the love and connection. It's about pairing that love with really clear, conscious agreements. It's about building relationships that have both heart and a solid framework.
And that thinking leads to a whole new model for how these communities govern themselves. It's built on a few really cool principles. First, there's self-management, or autogestion. Then there's horizontality, or horizontalidade. Basically, no one's at the top. And finally, cooperation that's based on consensus. It's all designed to be a framework where every single voice actually matters, to try and head off all that friction we were just talking about.
Okay, get ready for a fascinating twist. How do you take these super personal, small, earth-based communities and scale them up, make them bigger? The answer is probably the last thing you'd expect. You weave them all together using cutting-edge tech. And yeah, this is where things get truly radical. What's happening here is this incredible fusion. On one hand, you've got these ancient tools for finding wisdom and connection. Things like ritual bonfires, shamanism, deep ancestral knowledge. And on the other hand, they're grabbing the most modern tools you can imagine: AI, digital apps, big data analysis. They are literally building a bridge between two worlds that we almost always think of as being completely separate.
And hey, this isn't just a vague concept. It's a real, concrete plan. The vision here is to use artificial intelligence to automate things like analyzing whether a project is even viable, to help scale this whole thing up nationally and even internationally, creating this powerful connected group, a consortium.
So how does this whole digital ecosystem actually work in practice? Okay, so step one, there's a platform that basically catalogs everything: people and their skills, available land, all the resources. Step two, the AI jumps in and plays matchmaker, connecting the right people with the right projects based on their goals. Step three, the system then connects investors with these well-matched projects. And step four, the result is this growing, strengthening network of real-world regenerative communities, what they call TIAs, or webs.
So when you bring all of these different threads together, you've got the land, the people, that ancient wisdom, and the super modern tech. What you get is the big picture. It's this complete, holistic vision. You get the whole web, a brand new model for a future that regenerates itself.
You know, the perfect metaphor they use for this whole structure is a rhizome. So forget your typical top-down pyramid structure. A rhizome is more like the root system in a forest. It spreads out sideways horizontally. There's no single center, which means there's no single point of failure. Any point can connect to any other point, and that creates a system that's just incredibly resilient and able to adapt. Ultimately, what this is all about is empowerment. It's a call to action, really, a reminder that we have the power to create. This line from their manifesto just says it all. Remember, we are gods and goddesses. We are capable of treading the reality we choose. It's this idea that we aren't just stuck in the reality we have. We are the ones who can build a new one.
So, when you look at the whole picture, from the actual dirt under our feet, to the spirit that brings a community together, all the way to the digital screen in your hand, a completely new web of life is being woven. It's this deep, profound integration of everything: the ecological, the social, the spiritual, and the technological, all finally working together as one.
And that really just leaves us with one final question, the one I want you to walk away with. As this new regenerative tapestry gets woven all around us, where's your thread? Where do you fit in?